today's video, we will mainly focus on the psychology. As you remember, last week I overtraded, and this is something that I should work on. And I found a really good example on the book called Trading in a Zone. So hopefully you guys read it already, and if not, this is a very beneficial book, especially about psychology, and I will be referring to it like for quite some time. And there's a great example in the book which shows how our mind behaves after a couple of losses. But before we will jump to that, I want to show you what have I done this week, what are my changes, on what instruments am I trading now, and how the last week overtrading made an impact on this week. Let's take a look. So here we are having the stats for the first 2 weeks in July, and you can see my drawdown from last week, and here the first 3 trades that I took this week to get out of the drawdown. So I took 5 trades on Monday, 4 trades on Tuesday, and 3 trades on Wednesday. On Monday and Tuesday I still placed the trades on platinum and only one on crude oil. The first platinum was still very psychological. I placed it thinking about last week, and it was a very unnecessary trade. I got again a FOMO and the overtrading mindset, and I should not have placed this trade. Then the next 2 trades in platinum, one was the entrance, but the entrance was too early and I didn't want to make any more losses, so I got out on break even. And then the next one is when I re-entered on the reset, so slightly lower with the better entrance, and I got $361. And then again I placed one more trade, but I escaped from it on the break even. And I also placed one successful trade on oil. Let's see oil first. So here we're seeing that I took the entrance on the 3 touch point trendline break, and when the price crossed that support and resistance zone. So it was kind of like a double confirmation for me. And I entered with 3 contracts, anticipating that the price will go to $87.55. However, after some time, when the price made a move, I decided to get out slightly earlier on the earlier support of the resistance, which is still okay. I took some profits, and I really needed that after my losses from last week. So this was my first successful trade after last week. However, if I would hold longer, my take profit would be hit. So the lesson from here is I should hold longer, definitely. On the platinum trade, on the other hand, at the beginning I entered on the break of this trend line, and as I was telling you, I got out on the break even, and then the price went down and made a reset on this trend line, and I entered on the small push up and got out slightly early up when I was already $361 and plus. If I would hold longer, my take profit, which was between those 2 lines somewhere, would be hit. However, again, I didn't hold enough. But I really needed some wins under my belt to feel more confident. On Tuesday, we had got 2 losses in the morning and 1 win in the evening. And I will show you those 2 losses. One was on oil, and I thought that the price is going short, as this kind of like 3 touch point, 4 touch point trendline break, 1, 2, 3 broke and went pretty low. So I entered, as you see, like at the end of this week. However, I got kicked out on the other side because I didn't give enough wiggle room. And later today I was trying to take a trade here, as you might have seen. However, I got out on a break even, as I kind of felt that that might be a consolidation here, as you can see, and I didn't want it to risk more money. However, that would be a very beautiful trade. And here's the loss on platinum, where I saw also a couple touch point trendline break with 1 fake out, and I thought the price is going down. However, it started to go up for a couple more hours and then it shoot down. And on Wednesday, I was so fed up with platinum, I didn't have any power to look at it anymore. And I traded oil, gold, and something new, the forex pair on USD JPY. So let's look first on that one. And I traded this pair in the past, however, I didn't want it to get involved recently for any more political pairs. and the forex pairs are very dependent on political situation of both countries. However, then I saw this opportunity on USD JPY, where we have got the steeper trend line with 2-3 touch point break, and the risk was very small, so I decided to enter on the top of the red wick when the move was pretty convincing that the price is going up. However, as I was not so familiar with USD JPY, I got out after somewhere like 2.5-3 hours with some profit. I know now that, like, for example, that line was too steep and I should have waited for the pullback and then draw the steeper trend line. Then I could have taken the profits way higher. However, well, I'm starting to learn about this instrument, so that was a good start. And then we're having the oil, where we're having 2 touch point break, and the price was crossing it with quite some strength, so I was expecting that the price actually will cross the latest top and go to 69.51. However, when the price started to reverse halfway down, I decided to take my profits and I got $70. Afterwards, I was thinking about taking the retest on that candle when the first candle crossed that green trend line and then pushed back and made a reset, and literally my take profit would be at the bottom of this candle. However, I decided to not trade anymore this day. And the last one is gold, where we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th time the price decided to break the trend line. However, it broke and I was waiting until it will also make some distance from the level of 3,300. However, then afterwards the next candle pushed so much down and literally hit my safety line. My stop loss was slightly on the other side, and I was very scared of this, while the next candle were getting back and I was a bit on the plus. And then afterwards the next candle, the 2 p.m. candle UK time, it started to reverse and I decided to just stop on the break even, because as we can see here, we had got quite some consolidation and I didn't want it to be stuck and be pushed back and forth. However, that would be a really beautiful move, and again, I didn't take it, but nice that I spotted. And for last 2 days, Thursday, Friday and Monday including, I will not be trading, as I want to just take a break and place just a position tool where I'm thinking I could have placed a trade and calm my mind and see if that reset would help me finding more clear setups. And that was the update of my trades. So now let's jump to psychology. And as I was saying you before, this book, Trading in a Zone, from Mark Douglas, has got a really great example of how our mind behaves after having a couple of losses, and how we are scared of placing the next one, and how we're starting to overthink and fear and question ourselves while we should not. So in a book, Mark is giving a great example of a kid that never ever saw a dog. So obviously a curious kid wants to see the dog, wants to experience what this animal is, how it behaves, is it friendly, not friendly, and unfortunately the dog attacks the kid. So after this experience, the kid's mind is connecting the dog, the animal, with a danger and fear. And let's say that a couple days later the kid is encountering another dog, which is completely different. It's very lovely and huggable and would not even touch a fly. However, because in the kid's mind there is this connection of an animal, of a dog, being something which is danger, the kid will be totally terrified, and instead of perceiving this new encounter with a new dog as an opportunity to build a new connection with it and experience something new, the kid perceives this dog as a fear and a danger. And this is how our mind tricks us when we are placing new trades after a couple of losses. So let's say we are already having quite some losses, maybe 3, maybe 5, and then the market is giving this amazing opportunity to place a trade. It's an A+ setup, amazing opportunity. However, our mind is starting to trick us because we were having losses last time, so maybe if we will take this trade as well, we will again have quite some losses. So we're starting to question this entry. Is this a good entry? Is it for sure an A+ setup? Maybe there is some kind of like thing that we're again not seeing, and maybe we should not place this trade. And we're starting to create those informations and overthink the things that we would never ever actually question or even pay attention to. We would just like see a perfect setup and you'll be like, yeah, this is an A+ setup, let's take a trade. And time passed by and we're seeing that the price actually is going in our direction. And we want to actually get into this trade, but we're starting to get conflicted because it's already too late and it's too risky. However, we still want to take it. And seeing that the price is going about us is very painful. And we're literally paralyzed at that moment. And maybe also it happened to you that after taking quite some losses, you started to question if the next trade is the one. Should I take it? Maybe not. And instead of looking objectively, you're literally thinking about this trade in a negative way. But now think about this trade in a different way. Think that before this trade, you had got quite some winners. You have capital, you're in a winning streak. And then you're presented with this opportunity of an A+ setup. There's no doubting about it. You're just getting in. And you need to accept that it's not the market that is giving you this positive or negative information, but it is your mind. It is your mind that is saying to you, this setup is good, but this setup is bad. And it's very much connected with your past trades as well. So to summarize, I wanted to read you a quote, and it says, our minds constantly associates what's outside of us, so the information, with something that is already in our mind, what we know. So in this way, it connects those two things as one exact same thing. So as we were talking about, the dog associated with a danger, a fear after some kind of past experience, leads that anytime when we'll see a dog again, we're starting to fear. So the same with trading. We had got quite some losses in trades. So now our next trade is associated with a fear, with a danger that we will lose even more money. And we're starting to question things instead of taking this new trade as a new opportunity. The same as like meeting a new dog. Maybe this dog will behave completely different, but we don't know that. And we're basing our behavior on our assumptions, which is not great. So next time when we're placing a trade, let's just take it as it is. Just take it objectively. There is no wrong and right. There is no positive or negative thing that the market is giving us. It's just our mind that can trick us. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit more psychological, but I hope insightful. See you next time. Bye!